We're live. Hello, 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 everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Colorful Threads. I am Juliet, and today is my Sunday Funday. So I've kind of been prepping for this all week, as you know, how it goes when you're getting ready. So, our Sunday Funday today is going to be embroidering on plastic folders for back to school. How amazing is this? Okay, so we're gonna do some hooping. We're gonna do some sewing on these. And I found a couple of different ones. You know, whenever you go shopping, you find all of those. So before we get started, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's completely and totally free. And if you want to be notified anytime I go live or upload any new videos, don't forget to hit the bell and say all. All right. And then if this video was super helpful or a really cool tip or something you want to reference later, hit that thumbs up button for me. And let's get started. So I did a training last week with a new client who said to me, I found these on Etsy and I want to do these. And she showed me a picture, and it's, instead of it saying create, it had a name of the child on the folder. So, or a monograms. We also found some monograms when we were hunting. And so I said, not a problem. Let me make you a video. This is a pretty cool thing. And this is what I did. So I went to, because you know, I'm not going to spend high-end dollars to do, you know, testing and sorting and stuff like that. So I stopped at my local Dollar Tree and I got all of these at the Dollar Tree. They had several different ones. This one had your typical folder in it. And then they had a whole bunch of printed ones, which I didn't get any of the printed ones because, you know, that's going to take away from the embroidery. This one did have a print on it, but it was a very light print, and I figured some nice bright white lettering would be just fine on this folder. This one had files and the prongs in the middle as well, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then this one had some fun colors, but it also had the prongs in the middle, and the pockets were little bit different shape, so we'll have to make sure we stay up in this corner of the folder to stay away from this pocket that's going on here. And of course, while I'm walking around, you're like, oh, plastic, and then all I have on my brain is plastic. So I found in the stationery section this notepad that has a plastic cover. And so I thought maybe it would be fun to put also like art or notes or something cute on here with some thread. So these are the things we're going to be sewing today, and we're going to be doing some lettering. I'm also going to get into the design shop and work. Now, I also stopped because right across the street was a thrift store, and I went in there to see if I could find anything as well that would be along these lines. And I found some of these, which are like dividers that were also plastic with the little tabs on them. And I got them, two of them. I think it was 25 cents for both. And I did my testing. So I wanted to see what type of lettering could stand up on this plastic. Because remember, we're dealing with plastic. Plastic stitch holes are permanent. They don't heal like fabric. So when you poke a hole, it stays there forever. So knowing that you can perforate things that are like this, I tried some different stitches so that you don't have to. I did a full fill stitch along here, which ended up, I don't even know if you can see it, but it did in the middle of my J, like poke the plastic free. There we go, like that. See how it like, let me find a good background. There we go, dark background. So it did actually perforate and separate it in the middle of the J. So, and it was very waffly and wavy, and I don't even know if you can see that or not. It's kind of hard to show, but it bumped and buckled and just was no good. So you can't do anything heavy, dense on this plastic because the plastic can't handle it and it starts to waffle and weave. Then I tried a decorative stitch. I found one that was called geometric, which gave me enough stitches inside to kind of fill it, which looks okay. It still waffled and it was a little too many perforations as well. This stitch here was the tackle stitch, which we can find right in the software, just a click of a setting, that one in the middle, but it was a little too thin. It looks a little bit better in reality than it does on here. But then I did this one, which is a 10-point density. So every 10 points, we have the needle penetration going in, which gave me really good stitches. It's nice and dark and full. I really like this one a lot, so that's the one I'm going to be using. So, and this is why you do a test, right? See, what do you like? What do you like? Like, this is what I liked. You might like the decorative stitch. You might like the tackle twill. And this stitch over here is a setting in the fill where it runs the stitches along and up instead of across. And that one kind of waffled and buckled and has puckers in it as well. And I did an outline around that one, different color. You might like that, and you might be okay with the puckering and the waffling that happens. That's why you want to try a sample and why I was looking for something to test on. So these are my tests, and I'm going to show you the settings and how I set up the things in the software, because what I decided, right, made this choice to do a script font with that setting. And then I even created, and I don't even know if you can see it, but I did do a underlay of an edge walk that goes all the way to the edge of the stitching to kind of clean up the edge and not make it look airy with, you know, air sticking out on the sides that you can really see here. See how the opening of the stitches are on the side? I didn't want that look. I wanted it more like this over here, but I wanted it all the same color because I did like that effect here. See, it's a whole lot of testing and experimenting, but that's what I ended up doing with the Create, and it looks really nice. It finished the edge of it off very well. So we are going to go in the software and we're going to set up a Word so that I can show you all the settings that we're going to do in the software. And then we are going to sew something out. Can't hear me? Well, all right. We're boosting the sound. Thank you for the feedback.
Stop looking at me.
Sorry. I am looking at you. All right. Thank you. Okay. So, I think the next thing we're going to do is go to the software so that we can set up the Word for my next folder, and we'll get all of the settings that we need for it. And let me know when the sound is better. But we've got it turned up pretty good. Okay. Let me move everything off my desk, and I am going to move over to the computer, and we'll switch everything and we'll get started over there. Okay, so I am working in Design Shop and I have the professional version, but the settings that I'm going to be showing you, it doesn't matter what version of the software you have, because you can even do this in the regular lettering version. All right, so I have on here my plastic folder is what I called it, with all my different J's that I was working on here. This is the one that you see right in here, how dense that was and why it just perforated. This was cute, but a little too dense still. And this is the setting that I liked the most. And you can see on the first J how it runs the stitches along it, which is fine. I mean, it looks pretty cute, but wasn't quite the look I was going for. I really liked this in here and these settings. And so on this J, there's my density of 10. All right. And that's just a matter of clicking the letter, and each one you can have different settings on, even though they're all in one word. So this was the one we liked our density. And then what I did is I created the word create, and let's make it bigger. There we go. And so in the software, we're going to look at the settings that I have. So in my lettering, I have the brush script, which I liked, which was fine. And then you're going to jump straight down to your top stitching. And this is where I had it set for satin. And I did not want anything longer than the default to fill in the stitches. So I turned that tool off. 100% satin stitches all the time. I did keep on the short stitch, and that does help with the bulk in the middle and the perforation. So we're going to leave that on. It blends when we're done. And then underlay is where I made all of the little tweaks. So if I turn off center walk here for a second, you'll see why I turned it on. In the letters, you sometimes have a walking stitch so that the software can get to the corner and then stitch its way back out. And I didn't want half the letters or part of the letters to have this little stitch in it. So I added a center walk stitch purposefully, just to give that line everywhere and give it uniformity, right? And then I added that edge walk stitch, and I had the border margin. This is usually defaulted to 10 points, and I made it 0. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's 10. So you can see how the edge stitches stick out, and I didn't want that. So I did make that 0. So it goes right to the absolute edge, kind of like an outline stitch for me, but I'm using the underlay to give me that outline stitch. Let's see, those were the settings. That was that setting. I think my tie-in and tie-off is defaulted to the style 1, which is going to be just fine. All right, so that's kind of what I have. So let's set up a new word just so you can see from scratch. So we'll get a new folder, project, and we're going to do save as, and we're going to call this, oops, let me get my hard drive off of the Summit and plugged in so we can save it directly to our thumb drive. Go, and right here we're just going to call this plastic folder. Let's see, what word are we going to use on here? We'll do love. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my lettering and, do your left click on your lettering so that you can then plant your cursor on the screen. And we're going to do the word love. I'm going to center that. And then I know that I want this to be 5 inches wide. So we'll get that done. And let's pick our font now. We'll do something pretty scripty. Oh, yeah, this one. Artemis. All right. So now then, we're going to go to the top stitching. And we're going to do our density. We're going to take it off of auto and change it to 10. Enter. Excellent. Now, if there's any long stitches, we're going to turn that off and set that setting to 0. So we've got our density. We're going to leave short stitches on. We've turned off any kind of fill stitches. We'll go to our underlay. Turn off auto underlay. Just too much. not what we want. We're going to put that center walk in there and edge walk at 0. Our lettering is looking nice. Our tie in and tie off is default. That's it. That's it. That's how easy it is to set this up. We are centered. Our font looks really good. This is going to be great. Oh, the other thing that I did, that's right. Underlay. I did have these stitch lengths at 30. There we go. And our entire design has less than 3,000 stitches in it. All right, so let me save that. Double check that it went on to where it was supposed to. And there it is. Yep, okay. I'm going to eject this, and then we are going to go to the machine and load the files. Because we are on the summit, so I'm using my thumb drive. All right, now then, I'm going to load my file, load design, if you can see. Sometimes you can see the screen, sometimes you can't. To my thumb drive. We all know this. I'm going to pick my love, check mark. Turn on my hoop. Now, the hoop that I used is my 12 by 12 hoop. I found this hoop worked just fine for the test that I did and for the folder that I did. It is the hoop that works the best with my current tearaway stabilizer that I have. Right, like that. So that's why I'm using this hoop. And I'm using tearaway. This worked well for me, right? Because, you know, I'm a mad taper, my tape gun. So I'm going to be taping the folder into position on the tearaway stabilizer. Other thing that I came up with, because, you know, I have all kinds of hoops and things. If you have the fast frame set up like this, I found that this window would give me a big enough space to be able to do, you know, a name or a word on a folder or a monogram, and then I cut a piece big enough for that. So I was going to demonstrate using this for sticky backing, and then I realized this is all the sticky backing I have. You know, you run into issues with sticky backing with gumming up your needles and other issues. So I don't use a lot of it, but I always have a little bit around for just in case. Okay. Now, let me get my stabilizer hoot. And I'm have it fairly tight because all I have in here is the tearaway. Okay. Just making sure it's all nice and flat and hooped. All right, now, can you see me working here? Oh, you can see me working here. Great. We're going to do the purple folder. So I'm going to peel this label off first. Okay. And I have a ruler. Here it is. So, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, where do you want to sew the logo now, right? This is all up to you. How far is it? You want to measure. This particular folder is 9 inches. So half of 9. is 4.5. So at 4.5, you would make a mark with something that would erase. I'm not going to actually make any marks on my folder, but you could. I don't use any kind of wash away or wipe away or iron away markers. I'm going to just use the laser pointer. And then however far down you want to go. I mean, it's really up to you, right? You're the one that's creating this project. So you decide where it goes. All right, I'm going to line up my folder with some marks in here to know that it's straight up and down. And I'm going to tape. And I'm adhering the folder to the stabilizer so that it doesn't shift. I mean, it's pretty strong and stable. I'm just trying to keep it from moving around. And this is going to work just fine. Okay, so I've already put in a new bobbin in my machine. I have oiled my bobbin so it is ready to go. And I am using sharp needles on my machine. So, settings on the machine. I'm going to set my color on this purple. I'm going to do love in red. Okay. You're going to set your hoop like normal. Speed. So I'm running at 600. And I know that sounds slow, but when you consider the fact that you're poking through plastic, you want to just allow the needle time. And it's a quick sew, less than 3,000 stitches. So it's going to be like 4-minute sew. But I slow down. I'm at 600. And my tension is at 4. Just your whatever your normal shirt number. So nothing special with our tension. We're just going a little slower for the material we're sewing through. All right. Now let me get it in. Excellent. And my folder is straight. Where's my measuring tape? And we said 4.5 was my mark, right? So that's going to be to the left, right about there. And I do want it kind of high on the folder, so I'll trace it to see what's going to be perfect. Awesome. That's good. We're ready. Big green button. It's almost like too much backlight. Hard to get a good angle in there. So let me know what you think about this project in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know where everybody's from. Maybe let me know what word you'd like for me to try next. Awesome. The L is done. Yeah, now we got some light. And we're almost done. This is just so much fun. All right. This is loose right here where my fingers are. Okay. Bling, 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 bling. Ba, ba, bling. And this is why the picture on my thumbnail has me showing you holding the folder. I mean, look at how cute that turned out for sure. What the back looks like. Okay. Let's get this taken apart. What font I am using. Okay, so swap back over to the software real quick and I'll show a font. Okay. The font that I set up is called Artemis Script. It's one of the new fonts in 12. So you may or may not have that one depending on the version of the software that you are using. I was just picking something that was cute just to prove that it could be done with any of the fonts and really whatever it is that you are wanting to achieve. Got all my tape off. All I have left is my stabilizer. This project is so easy, so user-friendly, so simple. The cleanup is just a matter of getting in here and cleaning it up. What do you want to use? Everybody uses different things. Some people use the little pokers. I have some tweezers. I mean, you clean it up as much as you want, right? Most of the time, we leave all this stuff on the inside because it doesn't matter, but maybe you want to make sure you get in there and get it out this time. This is entirely up to you, right? How much of this you want to clean up. Comes right out. So school is getting ready to start. So I hope that this video is far enough away that you can get some made. I'm just going to worry about cleaning this up later. It's the back, and that's the front. My embroidered plastic folder. How amazing is that? And cute. I mean, it's going to last a long time, not like the paper folders, right? So, so much fun. All right. Yeah. So now I have this black one. Let's see. This one is just a plain black one with some inside tabs. So let's go figure out what we want to put on here. Drew, do you have a folder you'd like to make? You'd like me to make for you for any of your stuff? No? Okay. Get my tape ball and my garbage and throw that away. Okay. Let's go to the software and let's set up another one. I mean, look at this project. It's so quick. In 30 minutes, I've talked about it, and we've set up and sewn one. Ones that I've stitched, let me put that aside. Something else you could use if you have the fast clamps, you could probably use those as well. You could take this same word and just change it, and it's going to keep all the other settings. So let's just do that. Let's set up this black one. Let's see. I'm going to pick a block for this one. I don't think I'm going to do the word love. I think I'm going to do, let's do something a little bit smaller. What? A folder for Jerry? Jerry. Yeah, he doesn't need much. We have one piece of paper that has his shots on it, so no. Black folder. We're gonna put, let's put money. I'm gonna use this as a work folder. So we're gonna put money on it. Money, money, money. All right. Let's apply money. Whoops. Oh no. Did I just completely lose my software? Wow. I crashed it out. That's interesting. My work computer is also dying, so it might take a minute to boot it back up. Yes, let's recover what we had saved. All right. We'll just start over. That's fine. I know. I want to do the word money. And we're going to go to our fonts. We're going to pick something a little bit more stylish than that. Something that looks more like money. I did spell it right, right? We all love Bufu. Bufu is just fun. What font looks like money? Ooh, chivalry. Yeah. Cute. You see, I'm not like being very picky over here. Okay, so the next thing I want to make sure is I want the width of my lettering to be 5 inches because I really like the size on the folder. And we're going to go to our top stitching, turn off auto density, and raise our density to 10 because I like that loose feel, kind of a sketch feel. Turn off the tool that gives us a fill stitch if it gets too wide. Go to our underlay, turn off auto. We want that center walk to hide all of that stuff with our stitch at 30. Our second underlay, I really like the look of this edge walk at 0 points. We'll do that stitch at 30 as well. And apply, and okay. Center that puppy. We'll make it larger for you on the screen so you can see those lines on the outside. Frame it in very nicely. This looks cute. Okay, let me get my thumb drive off the summit. Put it back in and save this. File, save as, plastic folder, money. money. And I guess we'll have to sew it in green. Okay, double check that it's saved in the right place. It did. Okay. Now let's go back to the machine. And now we're going to sew some money. Load to my file. Sit down. And there's our money. Money. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to switch frames just so that we can try the sticky backing. Stick that right underneath for the moment. And so I already cut a sheet of this to be ready. Because I know everybody has different supplies. I mean, you could probably use the fast clamps for this as well. I was thinking about that, but I didn't try it. Separate, peel off here. Okay. And I'm just pressing all the way around, making sure it's adhered well. I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to hoop this puppy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the applique out so it moves my carriage forward so that I can put my folder in there. So I want money to be right there. That's my center. And that's going to be right about right there. I'm just pressing underneath to press the folder down nice and sturdy to this sticky. Using my hand for support. That feels good. Yeah, that ain't moving. That ain't going nowhere. Put my applique back in. Change my hoop. Don't have my barcode for this. Make sure I'm in the right hoop. That category? It is fast frame, and this is the 7x5 window. Oh yeah, we gotta come down anyways. Yeah, because the middle is kind of lined it up right there. Let me do a trace. Yeah, that looks perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna set my color, and we are using the green for money, which is number 11. 11, let me make sure that 11 is free moving. It is. Okay, and I'm ready to start. I mean, how cute is this? has an estimated time of 3 minutes. It's our big, beautiful M. Do we have any new comments? Any new questions? No? Okay. Don't forget, guys, to tell me where you're watching from. Like if you're in Florida, if you're in the country, if you're in another country. I'm always curious where people are watching from. So just shoot a little comment where you're from. Two letters. Says we got 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Sounds a little loud and pokey. It's just because it's like bouncing. If I hold my finger, it's not as loud, but it doesn't hurt anything. There's our money. All right. Hand the camera back to my cameraman. All right. So here we go. It is tearaway sticky. Voila. This is what the back kind of came out looking like. So I just need to finish cleaning this up a little bit, you know. I'll get in here and I'll clean this all out later because it is sticky. So, you know, I don't want to have that hanging out. It might catch my folders or paperwork. Paperwork that I have in it. Let me sit down so that I'm in the view. There we go. That's our back, that's our front. We got a weird hanging out thread. So let me clean up my thread real quick. And I'm gonna peel off the ugly label. Okay, I can't grip it with my fingernails. Okay, look at this ugly label off here. Money. A little too reflective from somewhere. Yeah, turn that light away for a second. The back one, the big one. Yeah, it's a little too reflective. Something is. There we go. That's the angle. Money on a plastic school folder. How freaking cute is this? So we have covered machine settings, speed 600, sharp needles. We can either use our sticky backing or we can use some tearaway with some masking tape to hold it down. or maybe the fast frames, because it would certainly hold in the fast frames well and stitch. Have fun with this for sure. Okay, so before I leave, what I'm gonna do is I just got a box of goodies from Madeira, so I'm gonna do a little unboxing and a little sneak peek idea. Don't have a sample yet because I just bought the supplies. But next Sunday, we're going to be doing 3D puff foam with a decorative stitch on top. And I'll see if I can find like a picture somewhere of that and kind of pop it in somewhere in here so that you can see what we're talking about. But let's do the unboxing. Unboxings are fun, right? And I just love the products that Madeira comes out with. So they have created a product that makes this possible. I, of course, had to have it. Okay. So I have hat stabilizer because I had to re-up on that. So you always got to, get your supplies. But what I really wanted was this backing. And it's not your normal, easy puff foam. This is called Bodybuilder. And I've got a chance to touch it and work with it with a client, but I haven't had any on hand, so I bought it because we're going to be doing this decorative stitch on top of puff. And the puff foam is kind of squishy and it can squish down very easily. This stuff is stiffer and it gives more of a straighter edge to the side of the stitching, and we can actually do some decorative stitches on top. So I got the black and I got the white because I had to have a little bit of both because I try to want to match, but all they have is 2 colors right now. And then what I got that you would need for this project is some 100 needles. I got 100 needles of, they are 100-80, so it's an 80 needle, and it's a KK sharp. So the difference between this needle and your standard 80 needle is it is a KK, which means the blade of the needle is 1/4 of an inch longer, and that wide upper shaft of your needle part is a little shorter. So this can go deeper into the puff without the V of that shaft part starting to affect the stitching. So I'm really super excited to be working with the KK needles with this project. So you'll have to stop by next Sunday so we can see how to do a decorative stitch on top of 3D puff foam. It's absolutely hot right now. So don't forget that if you haven't subscribed, hit that button for me. It is totally free. There's no paywalls here. I'm not even monetized yet. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to see when I go live next week, or if I upload any shorts or any videos throughout the week, you'll get notified. And if you liked this video and you thought this was a super cute idea, do give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, share it with your friend that also does embroidery. Stop by. We'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week, and we will